Myself K. Pravalika. My dish number 212H1A3072. Now I am discussing about PHP. PHP is an open source, interrupted and object-oriented scripting language that can be executed at the server side. PHP is well suited for web development. Therefore, it is used to develop web applications, an application that executes on the server and generates the dynamic page. PHP was created by Rasmus Lerodoff in 1994 but appeared in the market in 1995. PHP 7.4.0 is the latest version of PHP, which was released on 28 November. PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. PHP is an interpreter language, that is, there is no need for compilation. PHP is faster than other scripting languages, for example ASP and JSP. PHP is a server-side scripting language which is used to manage the dynamic content of the website. PHP can be embedded into HTML. PHP is an object-oriented language. PHP is an open-source scripting language. PHP is simple and easy learning language. PHP variables. A variable stores a value of any type, example a string, a number, an array or an object. A variable has a name and is associated with a value. To define a variable, use the following syntax: $variable underscore name equal to value. When defining a variable, we need to follow these rules. The variable name must start with a $sign. The first character of the dollar sign must be letter a, small a to small z, or the underscore. The remaining characters can be underscores, letters or numbers. PHP variables are case sensitive. It means the $message and $message variables are entirely different. PHP data types. Introduction to PHP data types. A type specifies the amount of memory that allocates to a value associated with it. A type also determines the operations that you can perform on it. PHP has 10 primitive types, including 4 scalar types, 4 compound types and 2 special types. PHP types, 3 types: scalar, compound, special. Scalar is divided 4 types: boolean, integer, float, string. Compound 2 types: array, object. Special 2 types: null, recursive. Scalar types. A variable is a scalar when it holds a single value of the type integer, float, string or boolean. Integer are whole numbers. It defined in the set -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. The size of the integer depends on the platform where PHP runs. The constant PHP int size specifies the size of an integer of a specific platform. PHP uses the int keyword to denote the integer type. Float are floating point numbers, which are also known as floats, doubles or real numbers. PHP uses the IEEE 754 double format to represent floats. Like other programming languages, floats have limited precision. PHP uses the float keyword to represent the floating point numbers. The following example illustrates the floating point. Boolean represents a truth value that can be either true or false. PHP uses the bool keyword to represent the boolean type. The bool type has 2 values, true and false. Since keywords are case insensitive, you can use true, 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 false, false and false to indicate boolean values. String. A string is a sequence of characters surrounded by single quotes or double quotes. Compound types. Compound data includes the values that contain more than one value. PHP has 2 compound types, including array and object. Array. An array is an ordered map that associates keys with values. For example, you can define a list of items in a shopping cart like this. Object. An object is an instance of a class. It is a central concept in object-oriented programming. An object has properties. For example, a person object may have the first name, last name and age properties. An object also has behaviors which are known as methods. For example, a person object can have a method called getFullName that returns the full name. Special types. PHP has 2 special types, null and resource. Null. The null type has one value called null that represents a variable with no value. Resource. The resource type holds a reference to an external resource, example file handle or a database connection. Thank you.